So have you found something that was maybe didn't last freezing?
At least for my experience with what I was cooking, it was an egg mix. I think I did something wrong, so there's a little more trial and error to figure that one out. But that was one. Outside of that, everything I've done has frozen really well.
But what is it? Let's dive into a little bit more details of that.
For which?
So the egg mix. So
right.
it was like an egg bake?
Yeah, so it was eggs, egg yolk, or egg whites, and in a little glass container that you would throw in the oven with, I put onions, peppers, and turkey sausage in it. And cooked up nicely, tasted great when it was like that. After I'd frozen and reheated it, it's very, very soggy because of either the ice particles or the veggies releasing all the juices, and it just didn't have the same taste to it or texture at that point because it was just sogging eggs.
Yeah. So freezing does change a little bit. So you froze it in the container.
Yep.
Have you tried it outside the container yet?
I have not yet. Okay. So that was the first attempt at something new. So
yeah. So because I have had clients that have been really successful with egg bakes, and I think that the best way to do it is to individually put them in Ziploc bags or I should say sandwich bags, freezer bags, and try to get as much air out of it as possible. It doesn't need to be fully sealed, but that will help reduce some of that extra moisture. Cool it off 100% first.
I think that was the big problem I did. I didn't let it cool completely because my cat decided she wanted to try to go after him. So in my infinite wisdom, I threw him in the freezer a little too early.
Yeah. So those little things, if you don't know those little tricks, that can become a barrier and you get frustrated with that guess and test. So it should work. So,
it's something I'm going to try again. I tried it when I had just made one and let it cool down a little bit and ate it, and it was delicious. So it's definitely something I want to do again. Yeah. It's just figuring out the limits and restrictions on it.
I like the egg bakes because they can be balanced. And you can do hash browns at the bottom for your carbohydrate, and then you can add either turkey sausage or hamburger, ham to it, layer in kale.
Kale's not bad. No,
cut small,
I don't
right?
like kale. It's just I'm avoiding things like tomatoes, stuff like that. I'm good with those. No.
So peppers, there's a big variety of different vegetables that you can add to it. And if you wanted to increase the protein with it, you would do half of the regular eggs, or full eggs, I should say, and half egg whites.
Yep, and that's what I did.
Yeah, so that it boosts up the protein, balances it out. Then you're not as afraid to use maybe a high-fat sausage to it to add the flavor and add some cheese in there. But those are a lot of variety, and I think they last a long time. And if you wanted to go even lower carb, I used to do them with cauliflower on the bottom.
Yeah.
So that's another way. It is an acquired flavor. It is a little bit different.
Because I've had cauliflower rice and everything. Not for this time, but I've tried it before.
Okay.
And it's definitely an acquired taste. I mean, a lot of that stuff is, it's how it is. You making healthier choices, you're not used to the way other things taste.
So one of the good ways to start to bridge that gap and move in that direction is do half and half. So many times they'll say cauliflower potatoes, and I don't want just cauliflower mashed potatoes, but you can do half regular mashed potatoes and half cauliflower to move in that direction, or get a little bit of that texture that potatoes are going to give you. Cauliflower will not give you that texture.
So I'll get the regular potatoes, you get the other half. We'll half and half it that way.
Right. See that avoiding? But I think, going back to the meal prep, those things make a big difference and how it holds up. Yeah. So, because I was curious on some of the options that you did for breakfast for meal prep.
Let's see, for breakfast for me, I like, if I'm going to do something, I'll cook eggs. I'll just do eggs with onions and peppers. It's my usual go-to, nice and simple, enjoy it. Outside of that, I do enjoy protein shakes. So I'll just do meal substitution in the morning, and I'll do that a lot of times because I'm not most of the time I'm not super hungry in the mornings. So those are usually good to keep me full until lunchtime when I actually
Yeah.
eat one of my meals.
Yep. I'm the same way. And sometimes I'll do the protein shake, or I will take a pre-made protein shake and use that as creamer in my coffee to get that little bit of protein in the morning, because we do want to still get some protein in the morning. But I have a hard time eating breakfast as well.
And every now and then I'm hungry enough that I want to eat breakfast, but most of the time I push it back towards lunch is when I actually eat.
Okay. Yeah, so that's good. What other meals have you found that have been helpful that you find are easy to prepare and freeze well?
Oh, my burger bowl. It's my favorite.
Okay.
It's what are they? Rosette potatoes as the base, essentially like a bun. So you heat it up, have it in a bowl, spread the potato out on the bottom. You take beef and the whatever kind of seasoning you want to use, and then cook that up, put it on top, and have cheese and a little bit of bacon, and then a little bit of sauce, kind of whatever sauce you want. And when you reheat it, because it freezes really well, nothing in it's bad. I always put the sauce on afterwards because I don't like reheating with the sauce. Yep. But when you reheat it, it tastes a lot like a burger. So like I use a jus sauce, I think is how you say it, or the brown gravy.
Yep.
And it gives it kind of a burger taste.
Oh,
and way less calories.
Yeah,
and
easy.
And easy. I mean, you can make several of them in a very short period of time.
Well, and I think when you make that and that's the base, and you could put that on like lettuce and tomato. Yep. So you could cut up lettuce and tomato that day. That's not an extra step.
Yeah, you can add a bunch of things to it. I mean, that's just mine's simplistic. So
the dietitian always thinks, how are you going to get a vegetable in there?
Fair enough. I like eating vegetables outside of that, so that's my snack food.
Right.
Vegetables.
Yep. Or have a salad with it, or pair it. But you could just add a slice, if you like on a burger, a slice of lettuce and tomato. That's a pickle's a vegetable as well. So
and all that stuff adds into that really nicely. It's just, again, I prefer not to. That and slow cook meals, like slow cooker stuff.
Okay.
Because I can make a big pot of something, slow cooked. I can work on other stuff all day, not have to really worry about it until it's done. Separate it and put it away.
Your slow cook meals, are they more like a meat base, or are they dump meals, like casserole base?
The last one I did was kind of a chicken pot pie style. So it was
a casserole.
Yeah, so it was casserole. It was chicken. I'm trying to think.
No sleep, it happens. We'll give you grace today.
Yeah. No, I mean it was chicken, and I have the pasta and mixed veggies, and different bases in it to just sit there and simmer for several hours originally, and then you add a couple more ingredients in the pasta at the very end and everything, and let it sit, kind of soak up some of the juices, and it's good to go. Yeah,
I like the slow cooker or the pressure cooker meals because I think that they are wonderful for people that are busy and don't have a lot of cooking skills, because you can dump things in and they're tasty. They come out great.
It was way better than I expected it to be.
And they're easy to freeze.
Yep, exactly. And that was the big convenient factor for me. Like I said earlier, I enjoy being able to freeze the meals because then it's something I don't have to worry about. It's something that's completely taken off my table of what I have to do, what I have to worry about that day, and I can do other things.
I think one of the big barriers a lot of times is, especially people when they're alone and they're like, I'm going to make this big meal and I'm going to eat that how many meals later, or I'm going to waste it. And I'm not interested in eating that same meal all the time.
And that's why I make the separate ones. So I can rotate between them, because that was a problem I ran into when I first started doing this. Is I would make a lot of one meal, and then partway through it'd be like, I really don't want that again. But
you get sick of it.
So I had to bring down the volume of each meal I was making, but make different meals. So, and like I said, I'll do it all in one day. So I'll do one in the slow cooker, I'll do one in the oven, and then I'll do one on the stove for however I can do them based on, being able to do all of them at one time and just spend a day doing it.
So what you found is that if you do 3 different meals, that's a good variety for you during that week.
Because I can kind of rotate between the 3.
And you can cook still during the week.
Yeah, of course.
So then maybe a couple of the packages the next week or a couple weeks down the road, you can add that in as variety.
Yep. And
so after time, it should give you a good variety.
Yep, and it does. Yeah, it definitely does. And it has over time at this point. So there's a couple that I'll always save, or there's a couple that I make a little more than others. So and
you might like it more.
Yep. And the nice thing is a lot of them, like the burger one, I can take and make the hamburger and freeze the hamburger, the extra, and just make a couple bowls and use that hamburger for something else. So it's not limited to just make that meal.
Yes. Yep. Those are great tactics. That's exactly what we look at, is something easy, it's enjoyable, it's foods that I like, and that variety. Because I know another thing is where people don't want to meal prep is I don't want to buy these vegetables and have these leftovers. So if you think about when you're choosing those 3 meals, is it something that I can use? I'm going to go back to kale. Can I use kale? We're just going to hit kale home today.
Give me a hard time because I was kind of don't like kale earlier.
But one of the best ways, he tried something that we prepped today with kale in it, and we cut it really small. Did you notice that do you even notice it in there when you cut it small like that?
Not the kale. Tomatoes, yes, but not the kale.
Which I would definitely. I think that people that don't like tomatoes, especially if you have cooked tomatoes,
it's texture. It just
there's definitely a texture. But I think kale, if you cut it small,
and it wasn't bad. You didn't notice it. I mean, you could see it clearly, but outside of that, you didn't notice it, so it wasn't bad.
Yep, because I think one of the toughest things about kale is how tough it is for a leaf. And there are ways to add it into meals, like your casserole meals, to get the nutritional kick and not really taste it. Even in your smoothies too. Now,
I'm good.
I'm more of a fan of spinach in a smoothie instead of kale. To me, kale can get a little grassy flavor to it if it's in a smoothie, but I don't add a lot of fruit to my smoothie, so that might be why. So it's really going to stand out. Banana would cover that flavor. So I would go with spinach instead as a lighter way to add the leafy greens, but the leafy greens have so much nutritional value to them. Great for our eyes, they're antioxidants that are there. So finding little sneaky ways, whether you don't like it or you have kids that don't like it. That's why I was curious with the eggs, if you notice, was it tolerable?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
So then cutting it up and putting it in different foods, the key is you don't want to take a big bite of kale.
You want it smaller. Small doses.
Right. So cut it small, take the spines off so you don't have that. That's going to be very grainy texture. So great. Meal prepping is one of my favorite ways to get less processed food, a higher nutritional kick to it, and balance without making it challenging. And what I do find that most people, and see if maybe you've noticed this, you're newer in the journey of meal prepping, but what we typically notice is that we'll start to get about 5 to 7 recipes that we really enjoy, and that's what you kind of stick with.
Yeah, I've got 2 that I'm going to stick with. And one that I really enjoy. Then I have other ones that that's kind of how I've been at this point. I have a couple more that I want to try. I've saved a bunch, and gonna do actually new ones this week. But there's certain ones that are like individual. So I have some that I can't actually meal prep normally. So like a mini pizza that I made with using tortilla shells and string cheese to make it like a stuffed crust pizza. It's delicious, super, super convenient, super easy to make, but it's not something that it takes a lot more time to do that individual little pizza than it does for me to make a big meal. So kind of flip back and forth between those. I do once of those, one of those a week. Kind of
might be like more of a treat one. One of my favorites that I found through the years of meal prepping is so back in Wisconsin with in the garden in harvest season, you end up with a ton of zucchini. And so you'd start to, experiment with some different zucchini recipes. And one of my favorites that I found was a zucchini lasagna. Now, I wouldn't make it all zucchini. I would still put a layer of noodles on the bottom, and then I would layer zucchini through it. One of the keys with it, though, is to put salt, slice it, put salt on it, and dabble. Let that pull some of the moisture out. Otherwise, it, like you said, it would be too soggy.
Yep.
And some vegetables are that way. You need to let them sweat, so to say, a little bit, and you dab all that moisture away, and then layer it, whatever you like on lasagna. But instead of baking it in the oven, grill it, and it's excellent if you do it on a charcoal grill. You put the charcoal to one side, you kind of smoke it, and that flavor sets in. And even if you meal prep it, cut it into slices and throw in the freezer, it comes out excellent. So some of those different ways to do it, that you get a variety and that extra flavor that goes along with it.
Makes sense.
And how I discovered it was because if you grill on a charcoal grill, it feels like such a waste to not continue to grill while you have charcoal. So like, what else can we throw on that grill? We could throw other things that we could throw in the freezer and have that fresh grilled flavor later on.
Yep.
So that was how I discovered that one. But I know that grilled pizza is a big
That's
thing
a big
right now.
thing too. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I would grill it on charcoal because I like that smoked charcoal flavor as opposed to just a gas grill.
It's been a long time since I've done a grilled pizza, so I couldn't tell you at this point. I was back when I was in the military that we had done that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so that's been a while.
Oh, yeah, they've been doing that for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so meal prepping is a great way to decide to have portion control. I think I know that some people, when they first get started with meal prepping, is they will prep it, and if they throw it in the freezer, they forget about it.
No, not me. It's the only thing I have in my house.
So that's how you control it.
Forget about. Yeah, my fridge and freezer are pretty barren outside of what I cook, or the individual things that I know I'm going to eat. So I don't like to have a lot of extra in my fridge at this point, because you do run into that where you don't use it, you don't touch it. You look at it and, all right, well, I'll have that tomorrow. And then it just,
or I'm not in the mood for it.
I'm not in the mood. So, yeah. So that's why enough variety that you don't have that problem, but not too much that it'll sit there like that. Right. It's kind of where my happy medium is.
Yep. And I think that's important to address that. If you're deciding to meal prep and having a hard time, if you find yourself not wanting those foods, maybe limit the amount of other foods in the house. So control the environment like we were talking about earlier, or make sure that you're cooking stuff you enjoy.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be perfect to work. Typically, it's more of the portion control and especially if you're choosing whole foods and cooking them at home. You can make the pizza or the burger food, and you're still going to notice that you're hitting your goals.
Yep, 100%.
Because it's about controlling that portion. And so how have you decided what portion size?
A lot of it's the recipes that I have are split. They say portion size, so I usually I'll break them up and kind of figure out what, if it's 4 portions, 5, 6, whatever, and I'll break them up and they'll be as close to even as I can get them to be. So that's kind of how I've done it. Most of mine are kind of that way. So it's hard to just sit there and go with portion control, but none of them are very big. So none of my meals, it would be one of those things. If I made one of them and it had a ton, then it'd be like, all right, I know, that's a little too much, but
right.
No, all of them have been a lot less.
So my question with that was, has it been enough? Like, were you satisfied with the portions that were that the recipes provided you?
At first, not so much. Now, yes. Originally, I kind of had an issue with it. I was getting used to it. It always seemed like it wasn't enough. I mean, I definitely ate enough beforehand. So now it's gotten easier. It's not an issue. Definitely eating slower was always a big problem too. Is I ate way too fast. So I'd finish eating and wouldn't even, have time for my stomach to tell my brain that I was full.
Yes.
So that was kind of the issue.
So it's
but
just some of those habits.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about those
Yep.
at the beginning. One of our other episodes, we talked about using mindful eating.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that veterans tend
Yep.
you're taught to eat fast.
Mm-hmm.
And changing that habit,
It is not easy.
No. So one of the tactics is to portion out the food.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you did eat it fast, wait.
Yep.
Wait 20 minutes. Give your belly time to communicate with your brain. And if you're still hungry, have something else.
Yep.
But did you find you ever were?
No, it really wasn't.
So if you waited that time,
So, yeah,
mm-hmm.
it would be a few hours before I'd start really getting hungry again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was always just maybe because I didn't eat enough kind of thing. But
right.
No, that was never actually the case.
So, have you gotten better at eating slow?
Yes.
At slowing down?
A little bit.
Okay.
Not much, but
it takes a lot of thought.
And that's the thing. I have to think about what I'm eating.
Yeah.
So.
But do you notice that if you stop and think about what you're eating, are you more satisfied?
Yes, I have to rewind what I was watching.
He's not mindful eating. He is mindless eating slowly in front of the TV.
No, when I notice it's I eat slower and it's fine. I have no issue with it. And it definitely does make a difference.
Yeah.
It's just not easy for me to have to think about it because I eat fast. That's how,
Mm-hmm.
again, that was ingrained in me. So I eat fast and then keep going.
Yep. I have a hard time with it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just tend to want to hurry up, get going, and go to the next thing. And I need to consciously think about it in order to eat slow. And it is easier to control the portions, but I also find that it's more satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am way more satisfied with that food. You think about the flavors and you're like, wow, that was really good. I actually tasted the food that I ate because I know I like chips. I have eaten an entire bag of chips and you can go, oh my gosh, those are gone already.
Yep. Oh, it's super easy with chips.
Mm-hmm. Especially in front of the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Or doing something else.
I said mine was eating.
You didn't even acknowledge it. You didn't get any satisfaction from it. And you just ate 1,300 calories or whatever it was. And it didn't fill you up.
Yep.
So, you think about that and you go, wow, what's the value of that? Is that helpful? So when we were talking about controlling our environment, because I am going to add in chips. I enjoy chips. They are a highly processed food, but it's one of my indulgences that I include in. What I have found helpful with it is to portion it out.
Yep. No, that makes sense. I like the little bags.
Yep, that's another way. So the 1 ounce, 2 ounce bags.
Because then I don't have to portion it out. I just grab a bag and go.
Mm-hmm. So I think the 1 ounce are usually about 150 calories. Yep. The 2 ounce, 300 calories, depending on what your discretional are, how much you want to have with it. So. Yeah, that has been helpful for me. Did you find that it makes a difference with satisfaction?
Oh yeah, and I like having just the little ones because then it's one of those I know I have the small bag, so I'm going to eat them slower, and I'll just sit there, I'll munch on them and kind of take one and set it aside and keep doing whatever I'm doing, grab another and not handfuls. So yeah, it definitely helps.
Right, I find taking little bites. It also helps. It prolongs the crunch. Yep. Because let's face it, most of us that like the chips, we like the salt and we like the crunch.
Yep, 100%.
So, or the dip.
Yep.
Could be depending on what we dip. So, yeah, those are great tactics to help out with on that journey, that weight loss journey.